Trust me, it's really hard. Sometimes I feel like going home. Sometimes I feel like giving up. At this point, I think I'm gonna give up. I'm done. So hello guys and welcome back to Made It Links, and as you read the title, I'm gonna give my honest 1 year review of studying and living here as well in Russia, specifically Maykop City. So the whole thing is, okay, before I dive much into my 1 year review, let me give you like a brief history of how I came to Russia. So I was living in Ghana before then, like obviously I'm from Ghana. Yeah.
Look at this man.
So I was living in Ghana. I completed high school, or let me say senior high school, in the year 2000 and I think 20, if I'm not mistaken. I completed high school in 2020. But then I didn't get a chance to enter into the university. I was rejected. I applied to 3 universities. I was rejected. So I had to sit at home, I think for a year, then come back and reapply. Actually, when I reapplied, I had radiography, but that wasn't what I was like really interested in. But then I've already heard about the Russian government scholarship, something like that, So one way or the other, I was able to gain the Russian government scholarship that brought me here to Russia. So the beginning of the whole thing was I came to Russia 2022, late November 2022 actually. I got to Russia without knowing the language, you get me? And being a foreigner coming to a country, a non-English speaking country, it's kind of crazy. Trust me, it's kind of crazy because it's hard to meet a Russian, or it's hard to meet someone who speaks English. And even if you are able to meet someone who speaks English, that person is going to speak awful English, like very, very bad English that it will be hard for you to understand. So we got to Russia. I was assigned to my school, and in every university here in Russia, they have a faculty, or let me say a preparatory faculty, where they kind of groom students or teach the students the Russian language itself. They normally write it on paper that it lasts for a year, but the honest review is it lasts for like 8 months. 8 months if you came in September, 7 months if you came in November, So it actually depends on, if you come early, you get more time to study the language. Trust me, you're not going to learn much in class. You're not going to learn much of the language in class. Most of the vocabs that you're going to learn are going to be on the street itself, You're going to learn much on the street. So trust me, the 7 months or 8 months that you're going to do in class learning the language, you can't learn a language for 7 months. That is the honest review. You can't learn a language for 7 months. As I'm sitting here right now, I'm still learning the Russian language. I'm still on my feet learning the Russian language, because trust me, it's not easy. It is not easy. So fast forward, I finished my Russian language course that lasted for a year. So after I was done with the language class, or let me say the language year, then I had to start the main school itself. That's where the trouble will start from, The main school is actually with Russians, because when you're in the language school, you are there with your Africans or other foreigners who also came to study the language itself. So you're not going to really have that kind of, stress, because none of you guys know how to speak the Russian language itself. But when you come to the main school and they add you to the Russians, and know how these guys speak fast, So I was added to the main school. I had group 107, LD 107, shout out 107 guys, shout out. So I had group 107. Actually, I love my classmates, they are really amazing, but sometimes you might find like classmates who are not that really good. When it happens that way, try to cope with them, So I had group 107, first day in class. Trust me, after class, I slept around 3 p.m. When I came back home, I slept around 3 p.m. I was really down. I didn't want to cry because
if I no laugh, I go cry. So it's better I laugh, even if I have to force it.
I feel like I'm not up to that stage to cry. But the first day I went to class, I didn't understand. It was just like a movie, like me sitting down watching Terminator. happening over here, man? So I came back home, slept. I woke up around 7 p.m. Sat on my bed. That's when I started thinking. Is this the right choice? Is this the right choice? But you know, I didn't give up. The second day I went for class. Third day I went for class. Fourth day I went for class. I kept on going. Although, mind you, I didn't understand any single thing they were teaching in that class. I never understood anything that was being taught in that particular lessons. But I kept on going. Then I met some seniors who have experience already. So there is this senior on my floor. We happen to be on the same hostel earlier. So he kind of, okay, this is how I did mine. So I placed my hair. Okay, this is how I did it. So it's more of like Russia is more of like listening to other people, especially your seniors, how they did it, because they are also Africans. How they did it, you listen to how they did it, then you integrate it with your own technique, you know. Because I have a friend who always say, studying in Russia is a formula. There is a formula to study in Russia. If you don't know that formula, you're really going to suffer. So I had his, I listened to his experience. I tried to integrate it to my own experience a little bit, you know. So life started moving on. Then I met this other senior too called GFK. He also showed me how to actually I was using my phone to transcribe what the teacher is saying. So I go to class early, sit, get the first desk, place my phone there. It does a transcription, but mind you, you're not going to get it 100%, but at least it will give you a breakdown of what's being going or what's going on in class. So you just don't get lost when you're in class. So that was how I was coping with it, you know. Then I was beginning to understand what is called seminar, what is called lectures. In my country, okay, let me say back in Ghana, there is nothing called, there is nothing between seminar and lecture. A seminar in my country will be like you're going to listen to someone or something, or a speech or something. But over here, seminar is the time for you to answer in class, for you to get more points. Lectures are for you to understand what's going on in the lesson, or understand the topic for the lesson. But the seminar is there for you to for you to answer. That's where you get your points. So mind you, in Russia, you have to answer in class to get points. If you get more than 4 points, 5 points, you're gonna get aftermath. Aftermath means you're not going to sit for that exam. I hope you feel me. So basically, that's how it started. So fast forward, my first semester came. I had to write exams for it. I was like, you know, first time writing a main exams in Russia, because mind you, the language learning school or the language year, the 1 year that I spent, that wasn't really tough. So I didn't get to meet how their exam was. So I started the exams. I did the first paper. I was like, oh, okay, so this is how it is. So in Russia, before an exam, questions will be sent for you to study those questions. So about like 50 questions. One will be like, hey, if you have been sent questions to study, then I think it's gonna be easy. Trust me, the language, you know. So for me personally, I feel Russians get it easy because they have the questions in their language. They send them the questions in their language. You study them. You go for the paper. You meet. Actually, they have something called billets. So let me put it in a way like, okay, it's a variant. You go, there are papers on the table. You go, you pick one. The paper that you're gonna pick, there are 3 questions or sometimes 2 questions on it. Those are your questions. So those questions are going to come from the set of questions that was sent to you earlier to study them. So I got to understand how the system was. Don't ask me for my first semester results.
Let's not talk about that one.
It wasn't that bad, but you know, first time trying something, it was votak. Okay, I'll be like, it's like this, you know. So fast forward, we vacated. I thought I was going to get a job to do. So mind you, in Russia, it's hard to find jobs. Even read my lips, read my lips. You have to get someone, like you have to know someone to get a job in Russia. You have to know someone to get a job in Russia. Unless like you want unless you go to the HH.ru, that's where like most of the jobs are. But trust me with that, there are conditions attached to it. So we vacated, and I kind of had some 1, 2, 3 jobs that I was doing at the Black Sea. I think I have a video of that. I'm gonna put it here. When I went to the Black Sea, I'm gonna put it here or here. Anyway, so let me talk about the social aspect. So this is how basically the school aspect was really, you know. So let me talk about the social aspect and the living aspect. I don't work and study at the same time. I don't do that. I can't do that here in Russia. Unlike other countries where they have really structured system in which one can work at the same time and go to school. In Russia, you can do it. But if you're not smart like Einstein or Newton, you're gonna fail in class. Like
God have mercy upon us.
You're going to be getting trials in class because Russians don't have a working system in which one can work like 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, you know, at least, like, you know, for students maybe you close 4 p.m. you can work like 5, 6, 7, you come back to sleep. Russia doesn't have that system. The least that I'm going to work is 6 hours. 6 hours. So now premier, for example, US students who closes their lectures at 4 p.m. 5 p.m. and are supposed to work for 6 hours. Do the calculation. What am I going to close? What am I going to come back to study? Bath in the morning, wake up in the morning and take your shower, go back to class. You're gonna be stressed. So shout out to everyone working and studying here in Russia. It's not easy. That person is really going through hell doing that shit. You know, so I'm not working and studying. So one asks, how do I survive? It's kind of hard right now, you know.
Stay with me because I need you. Foreign powers powerize me. Power my internal powers. Shake my kingdom.
I'm on scholarship, but the Russian government doesn't really offer me a lot of money, or let me say a lot of stipends. I get 2,000 ruble stipends. Read my lips, 2,000. 2,000. Wait, it's like I'm maybe mentioning more zeros. 2,000. 2K. I get 2K stipends a month. And even trust me, that 2K stipends will come the beginning of the following month. You know, it doesn't come exactly. I don't know if that's my school, but it is what it is, you know. So and right now, looking at situations surrounding Russia, it makes stuff really difficult. Trust me, it makes stuff really difficult. And you're not from a family where one person can send you money from home. You're gonna really find it difficult living and studying here in Russia. And it also depends on your city that you are in. So if you are in a city like Moscow City, St. Petersburg, where living conditions there is really on the high, you know, you're gonna really struggle when you're not working, you're not getting money from home. Because mind you, the Russian stipends is really like this carrot key. It's really small. Trust me. Mala, Ochi Mala. You're not gonna really get enough from that money. You're not gonna really do anything with that money. Not that we do anything with that money. So over here, I try to do my best. You know, we all try to learn your cons when you come to Russia. You have to manage your finances very well here in Russia. When you look at the accommodation, I live in a hostel, so it's not really that expensive. I pay like 989 rubles a month. That's really cheap. I'm going to convert it to dollars and put it on the screen here so that it gets like the comparison of what I'm trying to say, or the whole narrative of what I'm trying to put out there, you know. So basically that's like my life here in Russia right now. I'm not getting it easy, but you can also do it. If I'm doing it, you can also do it. But trust me, if you're thinking of coming to Russia, think about it 3 times. Don't think about it twice. Think about it 3 times. If you have other options on the table, if you have other countries which are more, if you feel they are more beneficial than Russia, try to pick those countries rather, because they have a lot of opportunities. I'm not saying you can't get opportunities here in Russia. You can get opportunities here in Russia, but compared to how other countries will offer you more, even more stipends, more job opportunities. And if you're coming from an English-speaking country, go for an English-speaking country. But if you go on the table and you have no options and it's only Russia, grab it. You can also make it here. People are making it. We're also trying to make it. So looking at the whole thing, comparing it to my country, coming here to Russia, one will ask, do I regret it? At this point, I don't regret coming here because I'm now picking up my life. It has just been almost 2 years here in Russia. So I'm doing a 1 year review. If I take things back to 2020, check my life right now in 2024, things have really changed. Things have really changed. So if you're planning to study here in Russia, this is my honest 1 year review of studying and living here in Russia. So I'll catch up with you later in my next video. It's made it links. I'm out.
G5. Came from the bottom, I had to stack my pens. Never going broke, that's common sense. With bro.